Hello friends, how are you? I hope you are good. Happy New Year to you, all of you. Today we are going to see the prostaglandin under the heading chemistry of lipids, and that will be my final part of the chemistry of the lipid. This lecture and next lecture, that will be of prostaglandin, and in this we'll see what are prostaglandins, and in the next chapter we'll see the functions of prostaglandins, the various specific prostaglandins which carry out different functions in our body, that we'll see in the next video lecture. Now we are seeing today prostaglandins. Prostaglandins, they are formed by the fatty acid known as arachidonic acid. What is arachidonic acid? It is a polyunsaturated fatty acid, and you must know that these are 20 carbon containing compound, and they are also known as polyenoic acid. So here you must know they are polyenoic unsaturated fatty acid which are present in the body in the form of essential fatty acid. These are known as essential. Linoleic, linolenic and arachidonic, they are nothing but they are the essential fatty acids which we have seen in the last lecture. So you must know that these prostaglandins, they are formed by arachidonic acid. Now this arachidonic acid is also known as the omega 6 fatty acid. So this you must know that prostaglandins is formed by arachidonic acid. We can say in other words, these prostaglandins are the arachidonic acid. They are the precursor of the eicosanoids. Arachidonic acid is precursor for, it will be the precursor for eicosanoids. Now you will say that what is meant by eicosanoid? The meaning of eicosanoid, the compounds collectively prostaglandins, prostacyclin, thromboxanes, leukotrienes. So these are the compounds. They are collectively known as generally eicosanoids. So eicosanoids are the compound collectively prostaglandins, thromboxanes and leukotrienes. Now this arachidonic acid is the precursor for eicosanoid in our body, and they play a vital role in our body. So you must know that this arachidonic acid is a precursor for eicosanoid. Now we'll see one by one the structure of the eicosanoids. Here first we'll see the structure of arachidonic acid. Here is the structure of arachidonic acid. Now you must know that the structure here, it will belongs 4 double bonds are present in its structure, and it is 20 carbon containing compound. So here the pentan ring will be there, and here the 4 double bonds will be there, and fatty acid is attached here. Means that the arachidonic acid is essential fatty acid. COOH is nothing but it is a carboxylic group which is present in its structure. Now we'll see this arachidonic acid is generally formed by the prostanoic acid. This is a structure belong to prostanoic acid, which will contain 20 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So 20 carbon atoms are present in the prostanoic acid. Now this prostanoic acid is responsible for the formation of arachidonic acid in the body. Now we'll see the structure of the prostaglandin. Here the structure of prostaglandin is given, prostaglandin E2. Now we'll see what is E2. It is one of the class of the prostaglandin. We'll see the different classes of the prostaglandins also. So here you must know that the prostaglandin E, it will contain oxygen molecule in the form of the double bond, and it will have OH group also, hydroxyl group. And you must know that the only two double bonds are present in the prostaglandin E2, and this is a structure belongs to prostaglandin E2. Now we'll see the structure of the thromboxanes. Thromboxanes are, we said that it comes under the eicosanoid. So here this thromboxanes generally they are of TXA4, but here the commonly found thromboxane is TXA2. Here the structure is given, the hexane structure of this thromboxane is given here with oxygen molecule, and two double bonds are present here in its structure. So this thromboxane is present in the thrombocytes, the cells thrombocytes. Now we'll see the structure of leukotrienes. Leukotrienes are the compounds which comes under eicosanoid, and the name itself indicates leuko means it comes from the leukocyte cells of the body. And here the structure is given here. Four double bonds are present. 1, 2, 3, 4, and oxygen molecule is there and carboxylic group is there. Here this is a structure belongs to leukotriene A4. It is a class of leukotrienes that is known as LTA4. It is abbreviated with LT, and it is a structure belongs to leukotrienes. Now we'll see how the formation of prostaglandin takes place by arachidonic acid in the body. Now here is the diagram given for the formation of prostaglandins from arachidonic acid. Now arachidonic acid, it is generally present in esterified condition. Where it is present? It is present in the phospholipid of the cell membrane. You must know that phospholipids, they are the constituent of the cell membrane. So here you must know that this arachidonic acid, which are called as the essential fatty acid, they are present in the phospholipid in the form of esterified condition. In the esterified condition they are present. Now the liberation of this arachidonic acid will take place with the help of an enzyme known as phospholipase C. Phospholipase C is an enzyme. This enzyme is responsible for the liberation of the arachidonic acid from the phospholipid, which is present in the esterified condition. Now you will see this phospholipid will give rise to dialkyl glycerol. It will give rise to dialkyl glycerol, which we have seen in the classification of the lipids, that this dialkyl glycerol is nothing but it is the derived lipid. It is an derived lipid. So this dialkyl glycerol will give rise to arachidonic acid. Now this conversion from dialkyl glycerol to arachidonic acid takes place with the help of an enzyme known as dialkyl glycerol lipase. Dialkyl glycerol lipase. This is an enzyme which converts dialkyl glycerol to arachidonic acid. Now you must know what is my enzyme. In the chapter enzyme we'll see enzyme. At present you must know that enzymes are the biocatalyst. They are the biocatalyst. And they carry out various reactions in the body. Means with the help of this enzyme, the reactions are carried out. The series of the reactions are carried out in the body. So you must know that this dialkyl glycerol, which is derived lipid, is converted to arachidonic acid. First, this phospholipid will liberate to form dialkyl glycerol, and dialkyl glycerol will give rise to arachidonic acid. Now this arachidonic is acid, which is essential acid, is responsible for the formation of different prostaglandins. Now here you must know that this prostaglandins, first we'll see the definition here. Prostaglandins these are the compound substances or the hormones. These prostaglandins, they behave like hormone also. Means they behave like a stimuli. So here prostaglandins, they act as an hormone, and they are responsible for the synthesis of cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is formed by the adenylate cyclase. Adenylate cyclase is an enzyme which is present in the cell membrane, and this adenylate cyclase is responsible for the formation of cyclic AMP with the help of prostaglandin. So you must know prostaglandins are the substances or the stimulus which act as an hormone, and they are responsible for the formation of cyclic AMP. Now you must know that these prostaglandins, it is reported first by an Swedish physiologist called named as Ulf von Euler. He was a Swedish scientist. So Ulf von Euler is a Swedish scientist. Sorry. So he reported first in the year 1935 the prostaglandins. And he expressed that prostaglandins are the metabolites or they are the mediators responsible for inflammation. Immune system and the immune system and for pelvic pain. They are the mediators for immune inflammation, immune system and pelvic pain. Pelvic means the location between the legs and the lower stomach is called as pelvic. So here they are the mediators for inflammation, immune system, as well as they are responsible for the contraction and relaxation of muscles. Contraction and relaxation of smooth muscles, or we can say muscles. So here they are the mediators for the immune system, inflammation and pelvic pain, and when they are introduced in the body, then they are also responsible for the contraction and relaxation of muscles and for metabolic activities. For metabolic activities along with therapeutics. Now, what is the therapeutics? They are used as a drug whenever they are needed by the body. So here you must know that the prostaglandins are responsible for contraction, relaxation muscles of the muscles and metabolic activities therapeutics. Now we'll see that the another scientist known as Suneke Germstrom and Samuelson R. Wayne. These are the scientists. The scientists Suneke Germstrom, Samuelson and R. Wayne, they got the Nobel Prize in the year 1982. But before that, Suneke Germstrom, he was studying about the drug known as NSAIDs, means non-steroid anti-inflammation drug. He used aspirin for the patient to lower the fever or inflammation. Therefore, you must know that Suneke Germstrom and Samuelson and R. Wayne, they got in the year 1982 Nobel Prize for their work. So you must know that the NSAIDs means non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug like aspirin, ibuprofen. So these are the non-anti-inflammatory drugs are there, which is given to the patient and by which the inflammation comes down, or means the fever or the swelling or the pain comes down. So here you must know that the prostaglandins, here we are seeing here the general functions of prostaglandins. Now these prostaglandins, they are also helpful for to stop the blood flow. They control blood flow, blood clotting, and the uterus contraction. They control the blood flow, blood clotting and the uterus contraction here. Uterus contraction, and you must know the site of the prostaglandin is the damaged tissue. And infection. Whenever they are administered, so they will reach damaged tissue and the infected tissues. So and they deals with the injury and illness. So you must know that these are the important prostaglandins which are responsible for the injury and the illness. Means that they can reverse the injury and they can recover the injury and the illness. So you must know that the prostaglandins, if we see in excess form, the excess levels of prostaglandins are responsible for first the high menstruation, so here the high or the heavy bleeding during menstrual period. Now you must know that in women generally the menstruation period or the cycle, we can say that takes place for 3 to 4 days. But if the excess levels of the prostaglandins are formed in the body, then high menstruation period will be there, that can be last for more than 7 days. And here the heavy bleeding during menstrual period will be there if excess levels of prostaglandins are formed. Then we can see that the that arthritis, the joint pain can also occur if the excess amount of the prostaglandins are formed in the body. Then some type of cancers can also causes there. Some type of cancers. So here you must know that these are the some important points regarding the excess levels of prostaglandins if we have seen in the body. Then you must know the cramps also. If more amount of the prostaglandins are released by the uterus, then there can cause the cramps. And here one should not use the red meat. Red meat contains the fatty acids which are responsible for the formation of more or excess prostaglandins in the body. Then we can see that the omega-3 fatty acids, they are good for maintaining to reduce the cramps in the body. So here the formation inhalation or intake of this omega-3 fatty acid is good to decrease the cramps in the body. Now we'll see that the prostaglandins, how they are formed by this arachidonic acid here. So you must know that the phospholipid will form arachidonic acid. Up to this point we have seen. Now this arachidonic acid will give rise to prostaglandin G2. So you must know that it is responsible for the prostaglandin G2. So here the G2 will form prostaglandin I2, H2, PGE2, PGF2, PGD2, and also leukotrienes A1, leukotrienes C4, leukotrienes D4, leukotrienes E4, and thromboxane A2 and thromboxane B2. So these are the eicosanoids or the prostaglandins. We can say that the eicosanoid comes under this eicosanoid, prostaglandins as well as leukotrienes, thromboxanes are there. So here the different prostaglandins are formed by this arachidonic acid. Now if you see the classification of prostaglandins, among the prostaglandins, E1, prostaglandin E2, prostaglandin F1, prostaglandin F1 alpha, prostaglandin F2 alpha, and prostaglandin G2, prostaglandin I2. So these are the important or common prostaglandins which are seen. That is prostaglandin E1, prostaglandin E2, prostaglandin F1 alpha, prostaglandin F2 alpha, prostaglandin G2, prostaglandin I2. Now among these 6, prostaglandin I2 is synthesized in the endothelial cells. They get it from the endothelial cells, and the other they get from the endometrial cells. endometrial cells. And the prostaglandins I2 is also known as prostacyclin. Prostacyclin, that we have seen under the heading eicosanoids. Eicosanoids are the compounds collectively prostaglandins, prostacyclins, thromboxanes and leukotrienes. They are known as eicosanoids. So I2 is the prostacyclin, which is from the endothelial cells. Now we'll see the specific functions of the specific prostaglandins which are necessary for the body functions. Now we have already seen that how prostaglandins are formed. Prostaglandins are formed by the arachidonic acid, which is an polyunsaturated fatty acid. This arachidonic acid is stored in the phospholipid in the form of esters. And how they are released? They are released by the phospholipase C enzyme. Now this phospholipase enzyme will give rise to diacyl glycerol, and from diacyl glycerol arachidonic acid is formed. Now you can say that the formation of arachidonic acid takes place by an enzyme known as cyclooxygenase, which is also known as COX. So here some specific prostaglandins is given in the column and their functions is mentioned. Now you must know that prostaglandins are the eicosanoid, or you can say that the arachidonic acid is the precursor for the prostaglandins, prostacyclins, thromboxanes and leukotrienes. This combiningly known as eicosanoids. Now we'll see the functions of prostaglandins in our body. Here the 4 different columns are mentioned: type of prostaglandin, receptor type and functions. Now we have seen that the prostaglandins are formed by the arachidonic acid. Now the type of prostaglandin known as prostaglandin E2. Now this E2 is the prostaglandin which will have receptor EP1 and it will have receptor type GQ. What is difference between the receptor and receptor type? So receptors are the G protein or G coupled protein, you can say that. So here this receptor type is the family receptor, intracellular receptor. So you must know that this is the difference between receptor and receptor type. So here the EP1 is the receptor for prostaglandin E2 and the receptor type will be GQ. Now what will be the functions of this prostaglandin E2? It acts as an bronchoconstrictor, means the contraction of the bronchus or bronchi will take place in the body from the lungs. That is known as bronchoconstrictor. Also, prostaglandin E2 is responsible for smooth muscle contraction of gastrointestinal tract, and the receptor P2, it receives prostaglandin, and the receptor GS will perform the functions, and it will perform the functions in the body that the gastrointestinal tract smooth muscle relaxation will take place here, and the vasodilation, it also acts as an vasodilation. What is vasodilation? Vasodilation means that it increases the flow of the blood and it reduces the blood pressure if already the blood pressure is increasing condition in our body. So it acts as a vasodilator. Then it also responsible to maintain the systemic arterial pressure in the body. Now the prostaglandin E2 will be received by the receptor EP3 and the receptor type will be GI, and this is responsible for the uterine contraction. So here, when during the pregnancy, the uterine contraction will take place, and this uterine contraction is caused the contraction with the help of an hormone known as oxytocin. Now here you must know that the prostaglandin E2 is also responsible for the smooth muscles of gastrointestinal tract, and it will inhibit lipolysis process in the body, because the free fatty acids will get from the body. Therefore, the lipolysis inhibition will be there. So lipolysis means that the breakdown of the lipid which takes place in the body, it is inhibited by the prostaglandin E2, and this prostaglandin E2 is also responsible for the autonomic neurotransmission. So here the three different mechanisms of neurotransmission takes place in the body, and that is the autonomic neurotransmission means you must know that breathing is one of the autonomic process in our body. Automatically it takes place, and you must know heartbeat is also the autonomous mechanism. So here this vitamin E2 is responsible for the autonomic neurotransmission. Now, and it is also responsible for the platelet response, or the platelet response of their agonist is seen in the body by this prostaglandin E2. The platelet response means the platelets are aggregated. Platelets are aggregated, and there will, we can see the clotting of the blood, and due to this what will happen, the flow of blood will be impaired. If more flow of blood is there from the body, it is impaired due to the clotting of the platelets. So here the platelet response of their agonist is seen in the body. Now this prostaglandin E2 is also responsible for atherothrombosis. The blood clot will appear in the arteries of the body. The functions of prostaglandin F2 alpha, it will received by the receptor FP, and the receptor type inside the cell will be GQ, and the function of this prostaglandin F2 alpha is that the uterus contraction will take place by prostaglandin F2, and urinary bladder contraction will be there, as well as the contraction of bronchus will take place here. Now it is also responsible for the smooth muscle respiratory tract contraction. So you must know this prostaglandin F2 is responsible for smooth muscle respiratory tract contraction, and as well as it is the prostaglandin which responds for inflammation. Now what is my inflammation? Inflammation means the pain and swelling which takes place in our body, so it gives a response for the inflammation. Now you must know that the response to inflammation is given by prostaglandin F2. Now if you see that it will prolong erythema. What is erythema? The patches are seen on the skin, so it will prolong the erythema patches. Now you must know that it also terminates unwanted pregnancy. Whenever the pregnancy is not wanted by the woman, then it can be terminated by the administration of the prostaglandin F alpha. Now here you must know that this prostaglandin F2 is also responsible for luteolysis. Luteolysis means you must know the corpus luteum is an hormone present in the body. So this corpus luteum, it is one of the hormone responsible for the progesterone, and this progesterone, whenever it is synthesized by the corpus luteum, then what will happen? Ovulation will occur there inside the body by the woman. Now this ovulation takes place by the progesterone, but luteolysis means what? If no pregnancy is wanted, what will happen? There will be the administration of prostaglandin F2 and luteolysis will occur there. Luteolysis means the breakdown of corpus luteum, which is responsible for the formation of progesterone in the body during the early pregnancy. But here, if the pregnancy do not want, then luteolysis can occur by the administration of prostaglandin F2 alpha, and it is also responsible for parturition. During the administration of this prostaglandin F2 alpha, what will happen? There will be normal delivery, or the delivery will be in normal condition, means near about 240 days is required for the delivery of a woman. During this, what will happen? During the delivery, the changes in the structure of the membrane, changes in the structure of the membrane is seen, and ripening of cervix, will be there, and you must know that the contraction of myometrial cell will be there. Contraction of myometrial cells, myometrial layer, you can say that myometrial layer. This layer belongs to the uterine, and whenever the normal delivery will occur, normal delivery means the ejection of the fetus and placenta, and this is called as fetus placenta reflex ejection. So you must know that it is during the normal delivery period, changes in the structure of the membrane and ripening of the cervix will be there, and myometrial contraction will be seen in the body, and due to this, what will happen? The normal delivery can take by the administration of the prostaglandin F2. So these are the things which are functions carried out by the prostaglandin F2. Now we'll see this prostaglandin PD2 is studied in the modern period, and these are the prostaglandins which are found in mammalian organs, of which prostaglandin D2 occurs in the brain and mast cells. Prostaglandin D2 occurs in brain and mast cells. So this prostaglandin is studied in the modern days now, or the research is done on prostaglandin D2. Now this prostaglandin D2 is responsible for the allergic diseases, The allergic diseases like asthma. Asthma is caused by prostaglandin D2, and the prostaglandin D2 is also shows the vasodilation, inhibits platelet. Here the another prostaglandin I2, it is seen in the mast cells and eosinophils and basophils, and it acts as a bronchodilator. So you must know that these are some important prostaglandins which perform the functions in our body when they are administered. So you must know that this thromboxane is also formed. It comes under the prostaglandins. So you must know that this thromboxane, which is included in eicosanoid, it is responsible for the inhibits the platelet aggregation, and during this platelet aggregation there will be the clotting of the blood whenever the flow of blood is seen in increased manner. Now you must know it is also responsible for the contraction of smooth muscles, and it raises the blood pressure in our body to maintain the normal blood pressure if the person is having lower blood pressure. So these are the important functions of thromboxane. The another eicosanoid is known as leukotrienes. Leukotrienes, they are of 4 types, that is leukotrienes A, leukotrienes B, leukotrienes C4 and leukotrienes D4. So here the leukotrienes are responsible for the asthmatic diseases, and you must know that the leukotrienes LTC4 and LTD4 is responsible for the lung contraction in the body, and also it facilitates the allergic conditions in the body. Now the leukotrienes LT4 is one of the common leukotriene which is seen in the body, and it causes the asthma. Asthma is nothing but it is an allergic disease. So friends, if you like my lecture, share it, give some comment, subscribe it and press the button. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, because you will get the continued lectures, and in the next video lecture we will start the another chapter. So you study for the first semester exam which is soon, and in the next video lecture I am going to discuss about the marks pattern or the examination pattern of the marks which is conducted by the universities. So thank you very much.